Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's happening?
No. So the Eli thing with McAdoo getting fired, I mean, I'm 51. I don't ever remember coaching this bad. And I know the booth with the guys getting the money and the analysts and not putting the hours in. But, like, you saw the Raiders against the Patriots and you saw the Raiders this weekend. You're without your two best receivers. You're struggling on offense. You get the ball inside your 5. You get a first down under a minute left against a team that can't score. They call a timeout and then turn the ball over. And then you watch the Pete Carroll stuff with their play calling. Do you think it has to do with a lot of the good coaches getting the money, not even to be putting the hours in?
No, I think I don't think there's. And listen, Pete Carroll, he wins every year. I mean, listen, they've made a couple of screwy calls on the goal line. Sometimes, you just wonder what's going through people's heads. But Pete Carroll's teams come to play all the time, and they do a heck of a job. Now, a lot of it's freelance from his quarterback. They do a lot of really gimmicky stuff with this quarterback now. A lot of gimmicky stuff. They do things with him that are really unusual. And they run some really, really high school kind of stuff with him. But he likes that stuff, and he can move, and he's good on the move, so they do it. But, I mean, you can't knock Pete Carroll as a coach. The guy's won Super Bowls, been to Super Bowls, won championships in college, won championships in the pros, knows what he's doing. Now, again, should he have handed the ball off to Marshawn Lynch? Yes, he should have. I mean, that was just a play that's going to live forever. So you do get some stuff that sometimes you scratch your head about, but I mean, I don't think it's, universal. I think it's, now there are teams that are ahead of everybody else. The Pats are better than everybody else. They have a great quarterback, and they have a coach who understands how to build a team. He has built a whole core of finding very smart, versatile players that he can interchange. He can bring them along. Look what he's done with this defense this year. He started with nothing. He has built this defense throughout the season. It's gotten better and better as the season's gone on. I mean, they do a great job. They have a tremendous culture. They're very smart about what they do. They're smarter than everybody else. That's all there is to it. I mean, they are. And that's why they keep winning. And they have a great quarterback, which is part of it. I mean, they're able to utilize that. The great coach is able to utilize the fact that he has a great quarterback. And that's the difference. But it's about how smart they are and what they do. I mean, last week, they weren't great offensively in that game, but defensively, they played really well. I mean, they did some good things. So, I mean, they've gotten better and better defensively, and when they need to be good offensively, they are. And they're able to probe and take advantage of whatever a certain opponent gives them. One week they'll do this, the next week they'll do that. This week they'll play this guy, and he'll get a lot of action. Next week that guy won't see the field, and this guy will get a lot of action, and that's the way they do things. Anthony in Stony Point, what's up, Anthony?
Hey, how's it going, Mike? I was wondering, so you could manage the Yankees. Could you coach the New York Giants?
Not today. I couldn't. No. You have to be in the league for a while to coach. You can't just come in the league cold and coach. You cannot do that. Absolutely could not. Football is a far more technical game, and you need to be inside the NFL. You really do. You need to be inside the NFL for years. You really need to come through the ranks in the NFL, or have been a head coach and understand the league. Like you could be like Harbaugh and come in the league and then go to college and come back, or Saban and come back. But otherwise, you really need to be inside the league. And there's a theory that if you're out of that league for 3 years, outside that way that league works for 3 years, you really are an outsider. And it really takes you a while to get up to speed again. You need to be inside. You need to come from inside that league to work well in that league because of the way that league works. You have to understand what everybody's doing. You have to understand what is working. You have to be inside the way that league works. And the league continues to change, too. It changes radically. Football is a very highly technical game that continues to become more so, not less so. Steve in Staten Island, what's up, Steve?
Hey, Mike, I'm a Jet fan, but I think it's brilliant what the Giants did by starting Geno Smith. And hear me out. They did that because they actually going to tank the season.
They did not do that for that reason. I mean, didn't you hear Yoni yesterday at all?
I did, but you know what,
They
Mike?
did not try to tank the season at all. You know nothing about them if you think they tried to tank the season.
By starting Geno Smith, you're not tanking the season. And what they're going to wind up doing is getting a good quarterback for the next 10 years.
You think Geno Smith's playing this week?
He might.
You think he's playing this week?
I think he will.
You think Geno's going to start this week?
Yeah.
You'll be the most shocked guy. I'll be the most shocked guy in the building if Geno starts. I'll be very shocked if Geno starts this week. Very shocked if Geno starts the game this week. Exceedingly shocked. So, and again, I don't think it wasn't their game plan to try and lose the game. And you know what? Geno made enough plays where he kept them in the game. See, he's not terrible. He's just not good. And you don't have to replace somebody who is good. So he's a journeyman is what he is. He's got a good arm. He's always had a good arm. He always makes big mistakes. And what did he do last week? He did the same thing that Eli's had a propensity of doing, get hit very hard and give up the football, which is what Eli's done. And they said, it wouldn't happen this game. Would not happen. Well, it happened twice more. And that's been the biggest thing they've been upset about is Eli losing the football. Eli has not thrown a lot of interceptions this year. He's lost some critical fumbles. Kevin in Manalapan, what's up, Kevin?
And Mike, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
I thought it was a huge win this week at Atlanta. I really thought the Vikings played phenomenal.
Was it a good win? It was a good win.
It's a good win. I was looking at some of the stats. The Vikings held Atlanta to 1 of 10 on third down. Julio Jones at 24 yards.
Julio Jones was hurt, though, to be fair. I mean, he was playing on a very bad ankle. Just
all right, I'll give you that. But still, Ryan, no touchdown pass first time in 38 games.
Yeah.
I really think the Vikings got a real shot in the NFC.
I'm afraid they're going to get to the Super Bowl because I don't want to see them go to the Super Bowl and play against the Pats with Case Keenum at quarterback. I really don't want to.
It's going to be a home game, though.
I don't care. I don't want to see them play against the Pats with Case Keenum. No offense to Case Keenum. I don't want to see Case Keenum against the Pats.
You really think it's a one-year wonder? You really think it's a one-year wonder?
I don't want to play against. I don't want Case Keenum playing in the Super Bowl. Listen. More power to him with what he's done this year. If it's the Pats, I don't want to see the Pats get Case Keenum in the Super Bowl. I really don't. I don't. And it's not. I'm not trying to be offensive to Case Keenum, but listen. He's done well this year. He's done wonderfully. He deserves to start. He deserves to be player of the month. But I just would have trouble trusting him in a Super Bowl against the Patriots. I really would.
He's not turning the ball over.
I understand, but you're going to have a hard time selling me that Case Keenum's going to beat the Pats in the Super Bowl, okay? That's going to be a hard sell. It just is. Think about it. It's going to be a hard sell. All right? I understand what he's doing this year. But a lot of times those years that you've talked about, which we've talked about other years where guys have had these kind of years, Earl Morrall, and Earl was a better player than Case Keenum, or Joe Kapp, those years didn't end pretty. They usually ended the wrong way. Mike in Bergen County, what's up, Mike?
I just wanted to comment. Aaron, what I think should be more part of the storyline here is Aaron Boone was cut by the Yankees after he hit that home run to win the 7th game against Boston. And he put the Yankees in the World Series that year.
What's the big deal?
And cut him hard.
What they owe him? They owe him something?
Well, I'm just pointing out, I was shocked.
The guy blew his leg out playing basketball. He wasn't allowed to play basketball, if you remember. Do you remember that? So, I mean, again, listen, hit the home run, God bless him. I mean, they didn't owe him a lifetime contract for that. Yeah, I mean, Boone was involved in a lot of interesting things, which we'll get to when we get to Boone tomorrow. But now he's the Yankee manager, so more power to him. Never did I think Aaron Boone would be the Yankee manager. I mean, if you think about it, when he was running around the bases that night, and I was at the game, obviously, did I ever think he would be the Yankee manager one day? But I mean, think about it. How many people thought Aaron Boone would ever be the Yankee manager? 1:40 update time.